was right.
We just passed 500,000. But the reason why you have so many fires in the state also is because he's prevented land clearing of the forest. So you got a lot of dead wood in the forest, and because he's an environmentalist, he's preventing loggers and people of the community from going in there and clearing up the forest.
And in order to get get rid of the dead wood for the live, even trees that are that are still alive that need the air and everything else. That think that's gonna kill them off.
Right. He hasn't allowed that at all.
That'll make no sense. How can you do that when he's allowing that to happen?
Well, the reason why he's allowing it to happen is so he can push taxes and regulation in other areas. For instance, carbon taxes goes up.
What's carbon?
Those are pollutants from businesses when they pollute the air, or emissions from your car.
The government decides.
You know?
Oh, okay.
So they increase more taxes on we the people because of our polluting of the air. But he caused it, you know? It also would create more regulation to prevent more, again, the logging industry, prevent the logging industry from being able to go out there and use that dead wood for business. It's money. Money is involved. So if they're not allowed to go in there and take that dead wood, then that causes the fires. But if he allowed them to, they can go in there, they could clear the land, but they can take that wood and they can sell it. They can make money off of it.
Oh, okay. So and he's causing a problem that he's supposedly trying to say he's resolving it and he's not.
Exactly. And it's just a backwards way of exactly. It's all about money. Come on, we know that.
Did you know
it's a backwards way of governing.
Did you know when they bailed out the businesses for the COVID, his winery took over $150,000 of bailout? And they closed down wineries around them, and he stayed open.
Yeah, and these were loans meant to help small businesses. He has a multi-million-dollar winery, and he was able to qualify for a loan. And those loans are backed by taxpayers, so we're paying that loan to keep his business afloat. Of course not. Yeah.
That's true.
But again, since he's the one in charge, yeah, it's all about the money. All right, the money.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. All right. He's all about that.
What do they call it?
Perfect. But it's our money, and those loans again should be used to help those smaller businesses that have not been able to survive during this pandemic and have to shut their doors permanently. You know, now they're out of business forever. Meanwhile, his business stays afloat.
Thank you.
So we're petitioning right now to collect as many signatures as we can so we can have the opportunity to vote to recall him. So this is only to give us an opportunity to get the recall on the ballot. So, are you registered to vote in Fresno?
Yes, I am.
All right. Would you mind signing, please?
We need one for this to take care of our needs here, not other. Please do our needs here.
And that's what I'm here for. I actually was a candidate for mayor.
Would you like to sign a recall?
And I didn't win, of course, but I am running for governor of California. So let's get rid of him.
Have you signed the recall yet?
All right. If you could print your first and last name, sign.
You're a veteran. How do you feel about Governor Newsom?
Newsom, to me?
Okay. Do you live in Fresno County? We'd love for your signature.
Sure do.
All right. This just allows us to put it on the ballot to recall him.
Yeah, and as she said, he did sign a recent bill that allows adults
your name,
to have
then
sex.
sign next to it, and then your address where
And
you
you would
live
think,
here.
why would he?
That's disgusting. That's pedophile.
Absolutely.
They're a minor. No.
Exactly.
Wrong.
Right.
That motherfucker needs to be put in jail for allowing it.
He really does.
Well,
Wrong.
Yeah. Well, the loophole that he said is if it's consensual.
Consensual or not, they're a fucking minor child. Minor.
Yeah.
Underage. What part of that?
Yeah.
There's no 17.
So if you got a 23-year-old having sex with a 13-year-old,
Oh no, his balls be fucking taken off. I would beat the motherfucker off because my God. Oh hell no.
right there.
Hell no, I'll go to prison for that. That's why they dress from dead.
Well, let's get Newsom out of there so we won't have to worry. In a better situation is I hope for myself and my family. So that's what I'm hoping to do. You know? Absolutely.
Our next generation.
I couldn't agree with you more.
What we've done as elderly people, we've
Have you
done
registered voters?
we've done them.
Exactly.
We've done all the, this is what?
So this is what we call for
Well, I'll pick it up for you, my lady. My wife and I, we just had our first child. We've been married for 10 years.
Back into play.
Are you sorry?
All right. Thank you so much again.
So you have a registered voter?
Oh, thank you so much for coming back. You're in Fresno County, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all you have to do is print your birth certificate.
Yes. Yes, you said some very eloquent things. If I have your permission, I'd like to ask you 2 questions on what you already said, talking with the governor candidate. So you were talking about your opinion on, I think it was AB 5, being an independent contractor, and how the laws aren't working for you. Is that fair? What's your opinion on that, and what's your background experience?
AB 5, when you take away independence from people being able to work and support themselves, you're taking away from the economy. You're taking away from people being able to get a good service. And we don't want to sneak around doing anything. We want to do it above board.
So AB 5 or the passage hurt you,
Yes.
and you don't think it's good for the California economy?
No.
And how long have you been in California? Lifelong resident?
No. I'm an Arizona resident.
Okay. But you moved here.
I moved back here to help my daughter, and she passed September the 1st.
I'm sorry.
She ran a daycare for 20 years. And anything that's going to impact her daycare, I'm going to work to make sure it doesn't hurt her.
So AB 5 also hurt her daycare?
Well, when you can't work the way you want to work and you're losing clients and everything because they can't go to work, it does hurt.
So AB 5 both hurt you as an independent contractor, and it also hurt another business you're connected to.
Yes.
And so that seems like a lot of small business people being
Going under because they can't afford to stay above board because of a law that's saying they can't do it independently. We don't want to be, if we want to work up under someone who will be over us, we would go to work for a big manufacturing corporation. But we want to be independent so we can have a say on what we do, how we do it. Because in a lot of businesses, they have all the rules and regulations of what can't be said. Okay, that's it. I gotta go feed my baby.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I talk a lot sometimes.
Perform that one in particular, especially. But my whole thing is, I want to discover which regulations are actually benefiting we the people and these regulatory agencies that are being productive. If they are serving no purpose at all, they will be disbanded. And I'm completely supportive of disbanding the California Health Board and letting it to be allowed to be more of an independent venture, one that's really focused on the health of the people of the community versus being in the pocket of the majority of these businesses.
Big
like
pharma.
like you said, with these vaccinations, they're forcing through a vaccination for the coronavirus when scientists have said it takes at least a 7-year trial period to find out if the vaccination is even effective. But right now they're fast tracking a vaccination for the coronavirus, and in the event that does get approved by whatever whatever manufacturer ends up creating that, if California ends up buying that ball to bulk, they're going to end up forcing that vaccination upon our kids and our working class. So that definitely needs, again, to be reviewed and repealed.
So you got the health department. I mean, how many? It's like California's government's so big and so corrupt. Where do you start? What's your first? Say you do win governor. What's the first action you're going to take there?
Well, my goal is to do my first 100 days of actions in one day. So if anything, I will again be taking the office in January, but I'll be winning the election in November. So in that period of time, we will be building policies that we the people support. We will be reviewing those policies that we the people would like to have removed completely. That way, when I assume office in January of 2023, then we already have a slate of objectives and what we will be doing. And one of those first things that we need to do is audit the state. We need to know where our tax dollars have been going, especially during this pandemic panic. People's property taxes have been collected. We're still paying the same amount of money for gas, which went up 50 cents.
We're still paying property tax when the schools aren't open, and supposedly property tax pays the majority of school funding.
Exactly.
And they're not providing the service. What are they doing with that money?
Exactly, and that's what I would like to know as well. That's why I said one of the first few things that I'll be doing on day one once I assume office is to initiate an audit of the state's finances. That way we can find out where our money is going.
Will we ever see any accountability for people in government that have committed crimes against humanity? Because I feel like this whole coronavirus, starting with the health department and the governor, Gavin Newsom, have committed crimes against humanity.
Absolutely.
Through economic siege, through the trauma and fear-based mind control program. Everybody's out here still wearing masks. You got a giant increase in drug use, alcoholism, homelessness, child abuse.
Yes.
And all this is because
Domestic violence,
domestic
divorce.
violence. And so that's a terrible human tragedy that's been unleashed by our governor and the health department. Will these people ever be held accountable? Because in my eyes, they need to burn in hell for the crimes they've committed.
And they will. I give that power to Almighty, to deal with them in the afterlife. But right now, it's we the people that need to be holding these representatives accountable. That's exactly what I will be doing once I assume office, is I will make sure that any of these representatives that's sworn to uphold the United States Constitution, if they are in violation of that oath, they will be arrested and they will be treated as such.
Wow. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. We need a reckoning for all the unconstitutional activity that the government has been doing for going on the last 30, 40 years. So you're out here with the Recall Newsom campaign. How's it going for you here?
It's going fantastic. We actually crossed 75 signatures for today, which surpassed on Monday when I was... Thank you so much, my man. And my name is Nickolas Wildstar. I'm a candidate running for governor. Please consider voting for me. Sign the petition.
Sir, if I can ask you, I literally saw you jump out of a truck and hustle over here. What did you just sign, and why were you seemingly highly motivated to get out here and sign it?
Well, I jumped out because I think Newsom's not doing a great job in office. We need someone that's actually going to want to take care of the people, but we need to get the schools open. There are future generations that's going to be, what's going to take effect for this country. And I feel that, trying to help the economy get back, not some of us want the economy to stay shut, because now homelessness is going to rise. But someone that's going to say, let's do this, let's take the necessary, steps and procedures, and I don't feel that he's doing that. So I wanted to jump out and be part of the movement for the change, and I think that everything that he said he was going to do, he hasn't done anything. So I want to be part of the movement to help get him out.
So you're in a truck, you're coming here, going about your normal day shopping, I imagine.
Like a beautiful day.
And you see this sign that says Recall Newsom,
Indeed.
And you were like, I gotta be part.
Yep.
Is that fair? Because I saw you hop out of that truck and come on over here, and I was like, that man knows what he wants.
Oh yeah, I want someone better than him, and I feel that he hasn't lived up to anything he's gonna say. And I think that anything in this world is a man. As a man or a woman, your word is all you have. And if you're going to say something, I think you need to do it, because at the end of the day, everyone's going to remember what you said. And if you follow through on that, and I don't think he hasn't done it, and I want someone that's going to do it, and that's why I was so eager to hop out, because I think that he's not good for California, that's for sure. And they say that more people so far this year has left California than any other year. So that has to tell you something right there, that if people are leaving this state, for what? Obviously, they're not agreeing with the way it's ran. So that's the reason why I wanted to get out and sign this petition, because
to recall the governor?
I don't think he's doing a great job.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How do you feel about a libertarian Republican candidate for governor to replace Newsom?
I think it's better than what we have now. I am a Republican, and if there's someone that's going to come in and say this is what I'm going to do, and they're going to do it, that's someone that I want to be behind. When you look at political sides and all that, you can look at something and say, you disagree with this person, you agree with this person. You agree and disagree with the person that you want to win, but ultimately at the end of the day, I want someone that's going to say something and do it. And so Libertarian Republican, let's do it.
So as long as you're running for office, you say you're going to do X, you do X.
Do X.
You don't get into office and then go, I'm doing Y.
This is our third.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I could sit here in front of the camera, I can run, and I could promise and do my investigation, do my digging in, going around talking to people and asking, what do you want? What do you want to see change? And then I'm going to take the people's word. I'm going to stand on TV and I'm going to say it. Because the only thing I'm saying is I'm going to say what you want to hear so that way I can get your votes. Now, if you're going to say what I want to hear, then when I see you and I vote for you, I want to see you follow through with that. Because at the end of the day, like I said, all we have is our word, and our word means everything. So that's what I want. I want someone that's going to come in, say they're going to do something, and then they're going to do it. Because if you're going to say you're going to do X, Y, Z, you better do X, Y, Z, because if not, then you fail.
And do you
sign a petition?
I know you're probably going to already know the answer.
Are you in Fresno County?
Taxes and regulation are too high here in California?
Oh, heck yeah, we're the highest one. I mean, think about it. The only thing, I saw that our, Attorney General, he wants to sue, the oil companies because California is out overpaying on gasoline. It is. My little brother's stationed in the Navy. He's on the East Coast. Taxes are insane over here. Gas, he can buy a truck. He's looking at buying a truck, and he's saying, I found the same truck in California. Everything, same miles, everything, same year, and he's going to save $12,000 over there just because the taxes are different. Taxes here in California, they're just outrageous, and they're talking about they want to raise them again. Well, then you better have a plan to start helping out. Like, how are you going to control the homelessness? Because that's going to go through the roof. You're going to have hardworking Americans like me every day that's already struggling. And then you're going to raise my taxes, and I'm already struggling, trying to how I'm going to do, this and this and this for my family. You're going to throw those taxes up, and then what? You're going to leave me in the homelessness? So, yeah, I don't agree with it.
Thank you so much.
One last question, if I may. I know you're a busy man. You're in California. Regulation taxes are already tough enough. Have things gotten worse with COVID? Have they made it harder to run a business, harder to make money, harder to get by with regulations, or no change at all? In your opinion?
In my opinion, in the beginning, yeah, it did. There's a lot of businesses that went under because of this. That's why, when I try to go out, obviously I came to Walmart, but if I go out and eat and do these little mom and pops, stores, I'd rather do that because they're the ones that are they're not a corporation. So let's support, the local businesses that, I'm from here. I'm going to start my business here. I want to support them because at the end of the day, they're doing all they can to support their family. And if I'm going to these, corporate businesses, the little mom and pop stores, those are the ones that's going to fold over. But I feel as far as the whole COVID thing, in the beginning, everybody freaked out, but the flu's killed more people. The swine flu, the pig flu, heck, I don't care, the elephant flu, bird flu, what, the elephant flu in 2 years now? You don't know what they're going to come up with next. I'm wearing a mask. Why? Because you get dirty looks if you don't wear it. Do I firmly believe in it? Yeah, I believe that there's a virus out there, but I think that it's just another conspiracy for, if you want my honest opinion, to get the money. The money, that's all they're wanting. The more people that tested positive, you look at these hospitals getting $10,000 to $30,000 per patient. To be frank with you, to be honest with you about the whole COVID, where I think it's a fraud. I had a buddy go stand in line with his wife. They were on an appointment list, but they closed at 4:30. They said they weren't going to get to him by that day. So they went home. 2 weeks later, he gets a test saying they both tested positive, but they never got tested.
All right, thank you.
Wow.
So there's a scheme right there that's going on. So he's like, dude, I stood there. I walked up and said, hey, look, my appointment's at 3:30, but it's 4 o'clock. You're going to get to us. They said, we're not going to get to you today. Come back tomorrow. They never went back. 2 weeks later, they get an envelope in the mail from both of them, but one for him, one for her, saying they tested positive, but they never got the test. So
things have gotten pretty. You don't feel perhaps the draconian hard regulations
no
are that necessary? I mean, businesses are going under. I know in Fresno we lost 50% of our economic revenue last month.
Yeah.
Was that worth it, or is it perhaps too tough and Governor Newsom doesn't actually care about the people of California?
I think it's too tough. He doesn't care. He's going to say what you want to hear to get those votes, but I honestly don't think he cares. If he cares, he would have stepped in harder and and protected the small businesses. Not just that, but California's on fire because of the lack of management on his part. But I think he's too tough, and I don't think he cares about us. If he really cares about us, he would have stepped in a lot more than he has. So all he's doing is like, nope, we're going to shut this down, we're going to shut this. You see him holding daily conferences, but it's pretty much the same gibberish. So it's like there's really no point in listening to him anymore.
So you are open to a recall of Governor Newsom?
100%, yep.
Okay.
So
thank you very much.
Thank
sir.
you.
I really appreciate it. Yep. Okay, sir. Could I ask you? You just signed a petition right now. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that? In your words, your opinion.
I signed a petition to get removed Gavin Newsom because, as my first time of voting here, my years just seems ruined because of coronavirus and how he's shut down the state. Like how he shut down schools. Like he ruined my last year of high school. I wasn't able to experience a proper graduation or experience prom either. Everything was shut down, and it just seems like a drag this year.
Do you see other people talking about these difficulties, or is Governor Wildstar here one of the few people you've at least seen here in Fresno County?
Yeah, I've seen a few people talk about saying trouble of how we want the schools to open up. We want to go back to school. I don't like doing schools at home. I'm not learning enough. I feel like I get more of a beneficial learning experience at school than in the home.
And this is your first vote?
Yes, this is my first vote this year.
How does it feel coming in and your first voting experience is you can't get a job, you can't work, everything's shut down, the government seems to be trying to control you? Is that a happy experience for your first introduction to democracy?
It's not a happy experience, but I'm glad I'm here to try to change something for once. Try to open things back up, you know?
Yeah. Okay, any other final comments, sir?
Trump 2020 and let's open things back up.
Okay. Governor, do you have I know you're very busy. One quick question.
Sure.
I saw what might have been seen as a somewhat tough conversation you had with a hardcore liberal couple a few minutes ago. But what grabbed me was the woman was disagreeing, and then you said, I'm for social values. I just think the government and regulations are too high. And then that woman totally changed the words and just goes, oh, well, yeah, of course.
Right.
What does it mean to have hardcore liberals agree to your message? Are you used to seeing that?
I am. And
Why do they do that? And why do they argue with you when they actually agree?
What I think it is it's more so just a loyalty to parties. And that was actually what I said to her, was we can't be loyalists to parties, political parties that have failed to serve we the people. How you doing, sir? Would you like to sign?
Yeah, I did it before. They said they would do it again, though.
Yes. If you haven't signed since June 10th, then we'll need to sign. Are you in Fresno County?
Yeah.
Great. If you could print your first and last name, sign here, and then your registered voter address. No, not at all. Oh, pardon me. And are you in Fresno County? Okay. All you have to do is print your first and last name here, sign, and then your registered voter address, please. Thank you guys so much.
Pretty close to that one.
Yeah, you're going to put your name here, though. First and last name, and then sign. You go ahead. Don't let me tell you what to do, and don't let the government tell you what to do either. We want to keep that sentiment going.
Do you know?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mike. God bless you. Pardon me?
Do you know the Gettysburg Address?
I have read it before, yes, sir.
You don't know my Gettysburg Address.
You have your own?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. And is that Clovis or which city? Fresno? Because you'll have to put your city there as well.
If I say it, I'm lying.
If you what?
If I say it, I'm lying.
Oh, really?
It's Fresno County.
Well, as long as it's Fresno
that-
County, because
you know-
this is by county.
You know that right across the street is Clovis,
Thank you, ma'am, for signing.
the Tarpey Island.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for signing.
We need to get rid of them.
Yes, absolutely, William. Thank you for signing.
So I know you're busy. Obviously, we're seeing customers come up. Real quick, if you can, you had a message. I saw a liberal. I'm kind of liberal myself, and they were arguing, and then you go, all I'm saying is let's keep the social values, but let's cut government regulation and taxes. And I literally heard her change her tone of voice and go, oh, well, yeah, of course.
Right.
And then go right back to whatever she was disagreeing with you about. What is that? What's going on there? What's happening in that human mind?
I just really think it's just a conditioning of the political systems and, again, their loyalty to these political parties. Because her objection was, well, I'm not going to vote for a Republican because ever since I can remember, a Republican has never done anything for me. Like, well, what has the Democrats done? They haven't changed anything. We have a Democratic governor right now who has done more to restrict the freedoms of we the people than our Republican governor has, Governor Schwarzenegger. And these impositions are being placed upon us against our will. And even though as much as she was in agreement upon that, she still was riding on party loyalty to say, well, since you're going to be running as a Republican, I won't vote for you. But I did at least convince her to have an open mind when it comes to hearing me out. So hopefully when the time comes and, more people learn about my candidacy and what I'm offering to do for the state, she'll consider to vote Republican for the first time.
Have you met other hardcore left liberals who said, yeah, of course taxes and regulation are too high?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's the first time you've seen that.
No, they agree with it, but they validate it by saying, well, that's the way the system works and we need it and that's the price we pay to live in society, and it is egregiously high. We should reduce those costs, if anything, because the taxes in California are the highest in the nation. And with some of the proposals right now by the Newsom's administration to consider reparations for descendants of slavery, that would definitely increase the amount of taxes per person in the state of California. And I, being a descendant of slavery here in America, am against that completely. I think the best way to, resolve the situation of slavery and those people that have been affected by it is to make sure that those people guilty of it pay restitution. That would be a better way to make sure those guilty of slavery are actually paying for it versus those people that have had nothing to do with it at all.
And you fundamentally believe that in liberal, lefty California, people are open to the message and agree that taxes are too high and regulation is too high.
Absolutely. And if you can just show them the path of how, again, if we can reduce the amount of cost, we can still have these services provided to us. We can have quality educational system if we are not being a donor state and giving all of our money, our taxes here, to other people in other states where the cost of living is much lower. It's lower for you to go to school or for you to live and pay rent and electricity and pay for your education in Arkansas and Montana and, other states. But here in California, we're again having to pay the most money, and we're having the worst of those services. We have one of the nation's worst educational systems. We have one of the nation's highest costs of living when it comes to us having to pay for rent or mortgage costs. So we can reduce that significantly. The only way that we're going to be able to do that is by reducing the amount of taxes that are being imposed on we the people.
Governor, real quick, if I could ask you real quick. I saw a young man who wanted to participate, but he felt that because of his past history, he was not. Could you explain a little bit about that and educate the public?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people are on the misunderstanding that if they are a felon that they are able to vote. That's not true in the state of California. If you don't have any pending charges or aren't on probation or parole, you can still vote. So please, if you are a felon, please exercise your right to vote. They cannot take that from you. As I said, if you aren't on probation or parole or have any pending charges, you can exercise your right to vote. I spoke with a lady who had a DUI from 15 years ago, and she hadn't voted the entire time. Once I told her that, she immediately turned around, took a voter registration form, and signed a petition to recall Newsom. And like I said, the majority of people are unaware of this information, so it's up to we, the people of the community, to take the initiative, lead by example, and share this information with each other.
How many people are not participating because they think they can't, in your opinion?
Oh my God. So many, because they walk past the table under that interpretation that they, again, because they're a felon, they can't vote. So because they already have that embedded in their mind, they just turn away from voting altogether or politics in general. But it still has an effect on their livelihood. You paying taxes, you being able to go to work, all has to do with government's involvement. So we want to minimize the impact the government has on people's day-to-day lives and preventing them from being able to provide for themselves and, find gainful employment. Getting rid of the governor is the first step to that, which is why we're out here trying to inform as many people as possible about us demanding that he get out of office now.
Real quick, why is voting important? Why should I give a damn?
Well, the reason why you should is because we still have a democratic process. We are the major power here, and we got to exercise that power. The only way that we can do it is by raising our voice. It's either we raise our voice or we raise our fists. And I don't think many people want to hit the streets with pitches and pitchforks and torches, and have to resort to vigilante justice in order to live free and peacefully. We shouldn't have to get to that level. And if we want to maintain some civility in our society and be able to get those changes out of our government that we want, then we got to exercise our vote, and we got to use the pen and show them that it's mightier than a sword.